GM. It is Best Ball After Dark, but actually Guillotine After Dark tonight. We have a draft that is about to kick off. I just got to my desk, so I got to get the screen share up here. Normally, these After Dark streams are for YouTube members, but I wanted to make this one public for anyone to watch. Although I do have it so the comments are just for YouTube members here. So we're still going to gate the comments for the YouTube members, but everyone can watch us draft a Guillotine League. I will lay the groundwork here for how this draft works once I get the board up here. Let me get the board going. We have it is an 18-person league, which is by design, because this is meant to play over the course of the entire regular season. And every single week, one team will get the axe, hence the Guillotine name. And so it's a unique format in that it's a floor game, essentially. You're just trying to not be last every single week. And so if you finish in last place on a given week, you are removed from the league. You are done. So even though this is a managed league, it could be a very quick managed league if you're not doing well. And then the other super fun wrinkle here are the players from the team that got axed, which, theoretically the worst team on that week, go into the player pool and are available on waivers for any other of the remaining teams to essentially scavenge over. So instead of this dynamic of each week the waiver wire getting thinner and thinner, in Guillotine leagues, the waiver wire gets stronger and stronger as the season progresses because more and more talent is getting dropped in there. So by the time you get late in the season, you'll have a guy like Christian Kirk who doesn't even get picked up off of waivers because everyone is essentially consolidating around an all-star team as you get deep into the pool because really good players are becoming available. And so then the strategy is, how do you optimize, obviously, to stay alive early while also knowing when do I attack my fab? If you punt a single position and you're kind of just surviving everywhere else, you might blow your budget early to kind of shore up that position. So there's lots of different angles and ways to play it. And it's a fun format. I've played in this for 3 or 4 years going. I always play in a league with some guys, Tom Everett Scott, JJ, if you allow me to name drop for a second. But this is my first year doing multiple leagues. We got one with the Fantasy Life crew. I got that one with JJ and the West Coast Elite there. And then this one, which is with the Deposit Kingdom. So for some of you YouTube members, I dropped in that we had this available. I'm free rolling you guys. We're going to do a $250 top prize here for whoever wins this. And we'll break down the draft as it goes here. We're also going to have a bunch of the people drafting tonight swing by for a little commentary. So we got some 10-minute blocks. We're going to have Tom from the Fantasy Sanctuary swinging by here to kick us off in a few minutes, but I just wanted to get the lay of the land going. And yeah, so good evening. Let me get this draft board a little bigger so everybody can kind of see what's going on here. The picks get way more stretched out when it's an 18. I think we can go like this. All right. Why are tight ends going so early? What do you mean? I don't see a single tight end off the board. I do like it for any of you guys who watched the weekly winners video with, was it Michael? I kind of approach these Guillotine leagues with that same thing. Like I want to kind of optimize for the start of the season because you do have so many different ways that you can fix your team through waiver wires. So first round goes Christian McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Breece Hall, Amon-Ra, Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, Bijan Robinson, and Garrett Wilson. The shortest they would allow us to do the pick clock in this one was a minute. But I trust our crew here will keep the pedal to the metal tonight and keep us moving. The other thing about the default roster settings for this league. So it's one quarterback, it's two running backs, it's two flexes that include running back, wide receiver, tight end, and a tight end, and then two wide receivers. So it's basically similar to the FFPC style, just not tight end premium, essentially, if you guys are familiar with that starting setting. And then you have 6 bench spots. So basically, the nice thing, because of the super deep flex, like I wrote up for Fantasy Life my draft I did there, and I ended up the wide receivers were just flying off the board. So I basically ended up building a team where my starting lineup has 4 running backs. I ended up taking like Tajay Spears and Chase Brown because I felt like the running backs were by far the best picks on the board. But because the starting lineup is so deep with the 2 flexes, you can kind of just take best player available for a while. Like you don't really have to worry about positional scarcity so much unless you're like super punting a team. TCD, I host a Guillotine League on Sleeper. Week 8 is a super week. Yeah, 2 teams cut and no buys. That's a good shout out. And then the top 3 compete in week 15 through 17 sprint for the finals. Yeah, so this one goes down to week 18 is a head-to-head battle for one champ. They do have some settings within these specific Guillotine leagues. Like if you guys want to make your own private league, it's completely free. I think I have that pinned in the chat as well. You can see up top on the screen. And there are some customizable settings if you do want to do that stuff. But I like the classic version of playing it out until there's 2 teams left, and then they play for all the marbles in that final week. I did not get any influencer favors with this draft. I got the 18 slot, which I don't know. It's not the best, although when you have to wait this long in between picks, I guess you can spin it in either direction. You can definitely be at risk of a pretty big run. So I am on the clock here. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and take my guy. I'm going to take Malik Neighbors. And oh, wow, Jahmyr Gibbs fell all the way here. Yeah, we're going to do Gibbs and Neighbors, I think, is going to be my way I want to play this, making sure I'm not missing anything else here. Yeah, I think you can make a case to go RB, but yeah, let's get some Neighbors here. So Jahmyr Gibbs, Neighbors, and let's bring Tom on here. What is up, Tom? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Pete. All good. How are you?
Good. What draft slot are you? 15?
15. Just
Nice.
rolling with Deebo Samuel, capitalize on Brandon Ayuk being completely out of shape.
Oh, is that a new thing? Is that what they're saying, that he's out of shape or is that just you because he hasn't practiced?
Well, he hasn't practiced. He's been lazy all week, just waiting around for the bag, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Let me just take my second pick.
Yeah, we'll get some live commentary here as you make this pick.
We'll go Sam Laporta. Just start the train.
Yeah. The Trey McBride actually beat you to the tight end punch there.
I'm not up on my week 1 fixtures. Just been busy thinking about week 17. So maybe Trey McBride's got a nut fixture week 1.
Yeah, I know it is like it's a week 1 is all that matters. But it is a weird thing, right? Because it's like you can fly close to the sun. You just literally can't be last.
Yeah, I think I've only played in 1 of these before and I won it, but I probably came within a point or 2 of losing about 5 of the 17 weeks. And it's just that. It's like you've just got to scrape by and then not blow your wad on waivers as early as possible. It's just building for like you said before, not being the worst team. As long as you can be the second worst team for a lot of the weeks, you're all right.
Exactly. And I should also mention too, so Paul Sharkirian, I hope I said his last name right there. He was the proprietary of this site in this format. He sold it to Fantasy Life, but he's still partnered with Fantasy Life, and he's been doing a lot of content on the site as well. So if you are looking for a primer, he has basically a full strategy. Deep dive, all of it's free. I wrote up an article, a recap of my draft, some of the things I'm thinking about in it. But if you do kind of want to go down that rabbit hole, and also Gretsch just wrote a piece today on his Stealing Signal Substack, because he's going to be doing some listener leagues as well. So, I basically make two exceptions, Tom, for managed leagues. Every year it's doing the high stakes ones, and it's doing a couple guillotine leagues. That's about all I do for managed.
Yeah, I jumped in a Fantasy Pros FFPC Championship at 6 Eastern, thinking it'd be finished by the time this started, and we've just got to round 18 now in 2 hours and 10 minutes. So yeah, living the dream over here. But yeah, bring on
what
the
time
waivers.
did you say it is?
It was about 2 hours ago we started, and we've just hit round 18.
Okay. Man,
got to make sure you take all the running backs with your 60 seconds.
Since Tom and PD took McBride and Laporta, we had Ayuk. We do have some autoing going on here. Puka and Ayuk. Then HN went. Our first quarterback, Josh Allen, Adams, Evans, Travis Kelce, Kyron, Jalen Waddle, Cooper Kupp. The first one I did, or the one I did with Fantasy Life, I started Bijan Kyron. Just give me all those projectable touches. Now, I will admit, Tom, this was before we learned Kyron was a punt returner. So hopefully my pick is still okay.
Wait, this isn't Scott Fishbowl scoring.
What is the actual, refresh my memory on that? Did Kyron actually get a boost in that format?
He will do if he's doing the kick returns. There's a guy in our Discord, Rich, who drilled in very in-depth in the kick return stuff and was very much all in that they were way underdrafted compared to where they should be. And I'm very much probably going to be completely wrong with my Scott Fishbowl team, but hey, it was fun. I don't know. I kind of look at it and I just think there's so many teams who are just going to kick the ball out the end zone rather than letting someone return it.
Yeah. So, yeah, the one thing I struggle with in this format, now, one of my teams, I did do Lamar Jackson because I got such an insane value on it, but I do struggle. Like, of all the positions to punt, I do think quarterback is probably the best one to punt in this format.
But is this because you're an elite QB hater now, Pete?
Well, maybe I do need to separate that bias. It's more just like what you can get later in the draft. Like, you can get a guy like Aaron Rodgers super late in the draft. It's like pretty high floor with some of that. Whereas the floor for, the running backs especially can just be absolutely destroyed when you get to that same range. So it's more like when you do the 2v2s on it, the quarterbacks just seem like awesome. Like, you can get a guy like Sam Darnold in this format so late. And is he going to sink your team? Is he going to give you at least 15 points? I can't say that about the tight end you might take there, or the wide receiver.
Yeah, I think you're right. And and your point in the thermonuclear takes video, it's the elites don't separate as much from the mid-tier ones in general, apart from those kind of massive weekly spike weeks. And I don't think week one is normally the week where the massive spike weeks occur. So if you're finding a guy who can give you 18, 17, 16 points in week one, whilst the rest of your team puts up really solid numbers, and then you can choose wherever you want to go attack an elite quarterback by week 4, week 5 as the weeks go on, then it feels like a fairly decent strategy. Not that I want to, give away too much of my plans at this point.
Yeah. The other thing that's, I'll say this as like a public service announcement, that's this weird thing, right? Like, we all have stacking like ingrained in our head, even for like season long. You do a main event, like stacking is bad in this format, because the risk of ruin, opening yourself up to the variance of, like, say the Tyreek. So I like what, Purple Gang here isn't sitting out waiting. They do Devontae Smith. So maybe they are going to catch my wrath here. It's like, if Jalen Hurts has a down game and Devontae Smith now you're opening yourself up to correlated downfall when
Failure,
you're
yeah.
just trying to optimize for not last place. So I actually like having my quarterback be completely separated. So in the fantasy life draft, I took Tua. I had no Dolphins. I was like, he was my first quarterback. And I'm like, good, because even if Tua has a bad game, all of my other players aren't correlated with that outcome.
Yeah, but it's also like reversing so many of our best ball mindsets for guys where it's like, oh, I don't want to take that guy because he might not make it to week 17. It's like, but he's probably going to make it to week 4, and then flipping the guys like, okay, well, I might draft Jonathan Brooks because he could have a massive role in week 17. Well, he's not going to have a role anytime soon. So in these formats, I'm always really interested where some of those rookies with questionable roles go early on in drafts, because for me, I don't want to take Jonathan Brooks till I've got at least the starting lineup that I feel confident in, and probably at least my flex play as well, which is going to be too late in a 18-team draft.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. Even I hesitated for a second with Neighbors. It's like I know his week 1 role is gonna be so good, but you're still even just like a rookie. Do I need to take on this risk? But look, I'm not taking Devontae Adams over Malik Neighbors. I'm just I can't do it.
No, screw that. Yeah.
Yes, Ricky. This is PPR. And then I'll list off the starting lineup again. It's quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, 2 flex that can include the tight end, and then 6 bench spots. So that's the other thing, because this is an 18-team league. The benches aren't as deep either, which you'll be glad they aren't, because once you see the caliber of players available in the last round, you'll be thankful for the influx of talent.
Who took? Yeah, I was very much hoping for Zay Flowers there for redemption against the Chiefs. So we'll just keep leaning into my mindset of players who could be dealing with the wide receiver on their team not being in shape, and I'm going to take T. Higgins.
Yeah. I was looking at T, and this is again this format too, where I'm like, do I prefer a guy like Amari Cooper here? Like, if I think his market share is just gonna be like bigger out of the gate. Um,
We've got Cowboys week 1.
yeah, Cowboys week 1.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, it's balancing that surviving week 1 versus not giving up projected points over, I guess, the first 4 or 5 weeks.
So I'm for sure taking a guy that I'm kind of surprised made it back, just considering all the steam, and like I don't care about suspension risk for week 1 with Rashee Rice. So I'm definitely taking Rashee. I'm debating if I want to go another wide receiver, if I want to, like, George Kittle and Kyle Pitts are such a mind fuck in this format where it's like,
Yeah.
do you open yourself up to that? I think I'm going to clackety clack. Mike Leone told me he's going to be the #1 tight end this year in the True Serum video. Let's go a little Kyle Pitts here.
So you believe in Leone's take more than my. So you're saying you believe in the guy who does all the projections and runs all the numbers over this guy?
Can I tell you something, Tom? If Drake London was available at the 3-4 turn, I would have taken him here for you, buddy.
Yeah, Drake London wouldn't have made it to the 1-2 turn. Well, yeah, if Drake London had made it to me at 15, I was taking him for the bit equity after that take.
So I start Jahmyr Gibbs, Malik Neighbors, Rashee Rice, Kyle Pitts. Tom has started Debo, Sam, and T. Higgins. We will get his 4th round pick here, and then we'll bring Michael onto the stage in a second. Tom, let the people know you've been churning out a bunch of content as well. I just hopped on. Did my video go live?
Yeah, it went live a couple of days ago.
Okay.
We talked to your 3 favorite players that you want to draft in every round. It was a lot of fun. Definitely a good time. Surprisingly, an awful lot of wide receivers in this range. I thought they would have been cleaned out though in this channel. I'm gonna take Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can find us on Fantasy Sanctuary. We've got loads of content on there. We're having a 5-6 hour best ball stream this week on Sunday from 1 p.m. Eastern, starting with Chris Spags and a bunch of other people you would know from the streaming area. And we're just going to draft on a bunch of different platforms and celebrate hitting 3K. Thanks to a lot of fine people in the best ball space supporting us and subscribing over the last few months.
That's awesome, man. A lot of people I was on with Neil earlier. He hit 2K. You guys just hit 3K. Awesome stuff all around. You said that's going to be Sunday?
Sunday from 1 p.m. Eastern.
There you go. Mark your calendars, guys. Tom, appreciate you. Appreciate you staying up late for this draft. I'm gonna bring Mike on. Do you guys know each other? I don't want to do like the pond racist thing. We're assuming everyone across the pond knows each other, but you did seem familiar with him.
Yeah, we know each other.
Okay, just making sure.
Michael's in most of my draft streams on Redacted every Wednesday. So yeah, we know each other.
I could have also seen it going like you being like, oh, just because we both have an accent, you think we are best friends or something. So Michael, welcome to the stream. Oh, I think you're muted, buddy. Yeah, you're muted.
Apologies. No, hi, Pete. Hi, Tom.
Hey, man.
Nothing. I think myself and Tom have only ever seen each other or talked on screen. This is the first time I've ever actually spoke.
There you go. I'm playing matchmaker for you guys. What team are you here, Michael?
I'm just this Dino to Murray team, so I'm just on the clock now.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what Michael does within the fantasy space?
I don't think I do.
Michael's responsible for all the sweet visualizations in all of Leone's work.
Oh, you're that Michael? Oh, okay. Holy shit, dude.
Yes,
I didn't realize that was you.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. So I've been sort of helping Leone and ETR for a couple of years now. Yeah. So
dude, you do awesome work. I did not, now that you say it, I remember seeing your name on all of the charts. I never would have made that connection. That's awesome.
Yeah, because actually when he was doing the Best Ball Mania update this year, we were actually talking because I just watched one of your Deposit Kingdom videos and you'd used a couple of charts in that, but there's one chart in particular, you know, when you're rushing through and trying to finish one of these projects, you never get everything exactly where you'd like it, but there's one I just really hated and you just had it plastered right up on the screen.
Flashed it up on the wait, what about that? Now I want to get in the weeds. What about it did you like?
But I was like, I need to get so no, but yeah, that's all. Been helping them out.
If you ever have an updated chart that you see me using or references, feel free to DM it to me and I will make the update.
All good. And it was just that one. No, it's always really cool to see the stuff going out, but it was just there's just you know what it's like. There's just one thing that you have in the back of your mind you don't like, and then it's the one you see everywhere.
Tyler wanted to say that if you don't take Bateman in this draft, you're a fraud, Tom.
I mean, look, I don't need any encouragement to take Bateman, but I think what we discovered earlier, Tyler drafted his 69th and final Best Ball Mania team earlier on our channel, and afterwards pulled up his exposures and thought that he was going to get me and, you know, hang me out to dry with how little Bateman exposure he had. It turns out that he had like almost 8% exposure to Bateman. So I think we both know that Tyler is the real Bateman slappy at this point.
Wow. See, and Bateman is the exact guy. I think, wasn't it, Tyler? Was it that your true serum in the chat? You don't chase these guys who have proven to not be good and get it done. What a fraud. I guess that's why it's a true serum take, because you had to admit the truth. Welcome. This is where you do the streamer thing and say a lot of those were drafted with a co-host on stream. Yeah. All right. So Michael, list off your team so far here.
So AJ Brown, Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs, and then CJ Stroud. So I'm not sure about that spot.
I think I like getting the two running backs in this format. I was torn because I had like Jacobs, Rashad, and Cook all in my queue, and they all went. And then I was like, it's a pretty big gap then down to like the Montgomery, Zamir. So I was like, I'll pass on that. But I like getting the two running backs if you can. I'm trying to see who else. We have a Travis Etienne Warren team, the Barkley Cook team, but okay, Rashad White Kamara is like a pretty good start in this format too, with the PPR with both those guys.
I think when I was thinking,
sorry, go on, Michael.
No, it was just Kincaid. It was sort of when I was looking and sort of who I had available, it was Josh or Kincaid. So I don't know if I'll regret not getting the tight end.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, do you think like in this format, like try to be balanced is better than going like quite extreme?
I think so. But what I was saying too is like the way how deep the flex is and how thin the talent gets even after you've filled like a lot of your starting lineup. Like I don't mind having weak depth. Like I do think obviously your starting lineup. So like an example, the fantasy life team I did, I had like my top 2 wide receivers were like Zay and JSN, which is fine. But then my depth like fell off. Like I was down to like Demario Douglas, Wandell Robinson, but I had also had like 4 running backs that I feel comfortable with every week. So to me, it's like this format just forces you to be weak somewhere, and it's just trying to figure out where that is. And you basically have to make the choice: do you want to be weak in a depth spot for a position, or do you want to be weak at one of the onesies? And I feel like that's kind of like the trade-off you're ultimately making. Let's see here. So we now have started the 5th round here. You see Chad from the one hole. I like this team. You know, DJ, obviously pretty volatile guy, but CMC, Metcalf, DJ Moore, Aaron Jones, Najee. You can probably survive some DJ Moore with that high volume trio of running backs.
Yeah, and what you need to remember with this format as well is that this isn't a team that you're going to have to keep. You are going to churn so much of your roster through waivers, but guys like Aaron Jones or Najee Harris, who we might not think have got 17 games in them, you can get rid of them after 3 or 4 and upgrade to the superstars if you can get them on waivers.
Yep. For people just tuning in, we're streaming a Guillotine League draft. This is a site that's now owned by Fantasy Life. You can create your own private leagues here. It doesn't have to be an 18-team league. They have them. You can customize it for whatever size you want. I have the link if you want to create those free private leagues. It is a really fun format to do with friends. And the way it works, as kind of Tom was alluding to, every single week, the worst team will be eliminated. So in this league, we got 18 teams. You just can't finish 18th out of 18 teams in week 1. You can't finish 17 out of 17. And then the other wrinkle is this is a managed league. You have to start your lineup, and there are waivers, but the waivers get an influx of goodies every single week as one of these teams will come back into the player pool. So even though the team is bad, you know, they got last place, they'll probably still have a few really good players that just had down weeks. And so then the choice early on is like, let's say my team goes out right away. And it's like, you're sitting there being like, man, Malik Neighbors had a 45% target share. How much money do I want to spend on him? Or do I want to sit on there? So it ends up being a scramble if someone has an injury, if they feel like they're kind of a bottom tier team, and then kind of figuring out how you want to allocate your budget throughout the year becomes a very fun exercise. Someone asked me in the chat what the buy-in is. I'm free rolling everyone here. I'm putting up a $250 bounty top prize here. This was just one of the perks for being a YouTube member. I put it out in the Discord. Anyone who wanted to come join, we did first come, first serve for that. So yeah, try to mix in some goodies like that for you YouTube members, along with the premium shows. Michael, you just made your next pick, filling out that starting lineup there, Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, it was him, and sort of then the top wide receivers are all either young or sort of flaky at the start. I was thinking. So it was, yeah, it wasn't great at the top of that list, I didn't think.
Yeah.
You say you don't want week 1 Roma Dunze try to get past Fat Keenan.
I know. Well, I could be wrong. I could be.
There goes my precious boy JSN. To Nick, there goes JT, Adams, Kincaid, Kirk, JSN. That's a nice starting lineup there. There's been a couple guys. I had Brian Robinson in the queue. I think that's a very good pick. It definitely makes in this format, like, you know, right now at the top of the queue is Roma Dunze. And it's everyone likes his talent. Everyone very confident he's going to be balling out by the end of the year. But do you trust him as your 5th round pick in this format? You know, a guy you like when you take him at this spot, you have to start him week 1, essentially, which makes it pretty tough.
It's basically a bet against Christian Kirk's health, isn't it, for week 1?
Against whose?
Against Christian Kirk.
Oh, I was
Saying,
talking about
okay,
Rome.
well,
Oh, but you're talking about
oh,
Brian
sorry.
Thomas? Yeah.
Sorry, I thought
Yeah,
you
yeah.
said Brian Thomas, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and Brian Thomas is on the board as well. We've only had one quarterback in this round since Michael took Stroud. We had Joe Burrow come off the board. It looks like my guy here on River Rat is maybe autoing. Had Zach Moss there. But honestly, as far as the auto stuff, I don't know if he set his ranks to avoid kind of seems not awful for an auto so far.
Yeah, at least he's got 2 running backs who might see decent touches early on. But Brandon Ayuk, week 1, I mean, I'm betting against it.
Yeah. Michael, how you feeling about this draft? Did you say is this your first Guillotine draft?
Yeah, very first. And I actually think the hardest thing is getting your head around 18 picks per round and working out what numbers mean and sort of an ADP and that. Yeah, no, but it's good. It does seem a really good, fun idea. You know, it's great to just have a different pattern of drafting. You know, it's just great to go in late and be trying to do something different than what you've been doing all summer.
Yeah. Man, that Calvin Ridley snipe killed me. He's such a good pick in this format. Yeah, that stings. I'm definitely going to take Tajay Spears with one of these picks. Another kind of guy that I think is just going to have a pretty solid floor and then also give me some ceiling. And I guess I'm just going to do what I did in my fantasy life draft at a very similar spot and double tap Spears and Chase Brown here. Just don't really like the wide receivers. You got the rookie wide receivers. You got like the boom bust guys like JMO. Just a little tougher sell. I'd rather just kind of bank these touches.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping Brian Thomas would make it back around the corner to me, but it's not a particularly fun place in the draft right now. I mean, there's Jordan Addison, who obviously is probably not going to get suspended now, but
right.
Yeah. Let's see. What do I have?
Yeah, I agree. I was kind of surprised how far Ridley slid. That would have been a nice pick. So now Pitts happens there, has Nico, Barkley, Cook, Kyler, Ridley, Njoku. Very nice starting 5 there.
Yeah, so I just ended up taking Rico Dowdle and just banking some touches because I think like that area of running backs, it's like the rookies and Dusty Zeke, so I'd rather reach a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said at the top, you can start up to 4 running backs. You could start up to 4 wide receivers. You could start up to 3 tight ends. So there is a lot of flexibility with team building.
Just for the chat, I saw a couple of questions asking what time it is. Me and Michael are both on the same time zone. It's 1:30 here. But that's all right. We're getting in. This is our preseason, getting ready for the NFL games next week that kick off at this sort of time.
Yeah, what is your excuse, Michael? Because Tom said he was going to be out doing a draft anyways. What's your excuse for being up this late drafting?
It's very similar. I'm sort of trying to close out my 150 this weekend, so I was up doing a few drafts there, and then whenever you put this up, I just thought it looked fun. Let's try something.
Is that in the DraftKings?
Yeah, that's all. I think we do get a little bit of access to drafters, but I like it, but sorry.
You don't want him to ruin your overlay on drafters? Is that what that quiet was, Tom?
No, it's just the drafters situation's quite unofficial. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They officially, well, they just don't really have too much in the way of internet security stopping people from anywhere that shouldn't play. playing.
Okay. I now pick up what you're laying down. Gotcha.
Yeah. But no, it's all good. Sorry, Michael. Carry on.
Michael, who was your biggest exposure player over a course of 150 DraftKings drafts?
It actually it's Greg Dortch, because I've been just
Short
taking
king,
him
summer
all
Yeah.
summer, just like insanely. Like I would tilt towards a sort of Davis Matek approach where I have built 3 teams. All variations.
So who's in the core? Who's in the core? Like Trey McBride, Greg Dortch.
I've been lucky, sort of like Davis. I've sort of like ones like Blake Corum. I've always been hitting a lot of Blake Corum just because of where he falls and sort of where I need running backs. But a sort of Trey McBride throughout. I've always been sort of hitting the elite tight ends, and McBride's been just the nicest positioned one on DraftKings, just usually. But Laporta fell recently, so I managed to get a decent amount of Laporta towards the end just to sort of smooth that out. But I was looking to chatting to guy work today, and I think I've 12 players over 20%, so that's probably quite high. But that's sort of I like to play it that way, just sort of have your takes and sort of write off the money and just have fun. And if your guys win, it'll be that little bit more fun.
Well, Dortch Dortch is a good pick on underdog. He's a even better pick in full point PPR. So I dig that for you.
I've got 10 players over 20%. Debo, Fat Keenan, Bo Nix, Mark Andrews, Gino, Tyler Algier, Rashad Bateman, Jalen Warren, Brian Robinson, and Will Shipley.
There you go. I like those names.
I can check. So it's Marshawn Lloyd. It's maybe not the best, but Bucky Irving, Devonta Smith, Roma Duns, Blake Corum, Jalen Waddle, Brillion Allen, Xavier Worthy. So it's a lot of guys here really were just being sort of shown as sort of high value over the course of the summer on DraftKings.
Yeah. It's been I was pretty worried about Marshawn Lloyd stuff there a while, but it's been a good couple of days. Avoids IR, Dylan out for the year. Then they list their depth chart today and put him number 2. And I know that stuff isn't like the end all be all, but teams love putting their rookies last, specifically ones who have missed time. Like I would have bet so much money that Emmanuel Wilson would have been number 2 on their depth chart. So just the fact that they put Lloyd there makes me think they really want to get this guy out on the field. All right, dudes, I am gonna, Tom, I'm going to let you go here. We're going to bring Star Tours on here, but hopefully we can get this draft rolling. Hopefully you can get some sleep. Appreciate you as always, man.
Nah, it's a lot of fun. Appreciate you, Pete. And for anyone who hasn't, head over to Fantasy Sanctuary and check out the video we did with us this week. It was a lot of fun. Catch you later, guys.
Yeah, we'll catch you later. We are going to welcome Star Tours to the stream. Nice to put a face to the name. How are we doing, Star?
I'm doing great, man. How are y'all doing?
I'm doing good. Remind us, where on this draft board are you? Number 7?
I was in the 7, yes. I don't know where I got 530 from, but I showed up late. So I outed my first few rounds, but it doesn't look too bad. So we might
yeah, I mean, Chase Waddle, yeah, you can survive that. Lamar, maybe you would have gone different, but again, then Mostert, Javonte, 2 nice picks there. So I think you're fine.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hope that number 14 autoing will take the first L, and I can sneak through with that Rome pick.
Well, yeah. So Huron River Rat, he said he was going to come on at 8:30, and then didn't even end up coming on there. So I don't know what happened.
Man.
Michael, let's get your commentary. I want to get Starboy's commentary and Michael's, and then we'll let you get on your way as well, Michael, so you can get some sleep here. What are we thinking here, Star on the clock?
I think, I'm scared of my early bye weeks, but Gus, I think he could be that early running back for the Chargers. I'm a little scared with all the Vidal hype, but I think I'm going to just try and play it safe and go with Gus.
See, this is the format. You can go to all your friends and be like, I'm out on Gus Edwards, but I do prefer him in guillotine leagues, is kind of what you could say. Yeah. All right. Michael, it's your turn.
So looking at wide receivers, Curtis Samuel's probably had, it's been that sort of isn't turf toe he's came down with, so he's had some injury concerns recently. And then
Yeah.
Shahid's been injured also. Suppose Palmer and Dobbs, and I think I might. I don't know, the Chargers are just so unknown what they're going to do, but I think I'll go with Dobbs and just try and get a wide receiver and to help me out.
Yeah, Dobbs is a really nice pick here. Get Dobbs with AJ Brown, Kyron Jacobs, Jamison Williams. That's going to be a scary one to check every week in this format.
Yeah. I think it's probably the Stroud pick. I probably should have left quarterback. Maybe took Jaden Reed or Keenan, and I got a quarterback later. But live and you learn.
It's tricky. It's a lot to balance from that perspective. Michael, anything you'd like to plug other than your charts with Leone here?
No, just that. No, thanks very much. It's cool to sort of get the chance to partake in this. I appreciate it, and big fan of your work. So keep it up. Thank you.
Well, I'm a fan of your work, and I didn't even realize it heading into tonight. I didn't make that connection. So keep up the good work, and good luck with the rest of the draft, and we'll catch you around the Deposit Kingdom.
You too. Bye now.
All right. Let's see here. Star ended up Gus Edwards. So you're pretty balanced. It's, I guess, tight end. Once Goddard's off the board, are you thinking probably just mega punt at this point?
Yeah, it's looking real rough down there. Might be. I think I'm just gonna wait till like round 16 and just go for maybe a little Colby Parkinson or Zach Ertz or something, and just hope that works out.
That's the thing. Yeah, in my fantasy life draft, I took Colby Parkinson with, I believe it was my second to last pick. And that's the nice thing. If you do punt the onesies, is you can grab two and kind of stream it. You grab Sam Darnold and Derek Carr, and then just play the lineup or the matchups kind of thing.
Right. There's so many good tight ends too. I could just dump my fab right away and just grab maybe a good tight end and then balance that out. I don't know if that's a strategy, but.
Yeah, you could have my Kyle Pitts when he sinks me in week 1.
Yeah, exactly. When Zach Moss has 3 touchdowns, it'll look real good for me.
I was wondering about DeAndre Hopkins. He was buried in the default ADP. Obviously, a little trickier in this format. I actually haven't. Have you heard any updated injury stuff on his return?
No, I mean, he's been really confusing. I think with the age stuff, it's just so hard, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Maybe we need Kitchen to get his boots on the ground.
Exactly. I have a couple interesting picks here. There's definitely, like, for any of us who are, in underdog mode, there's definitely some guys buried in ADP who maybe shouldn't be.
Yeah, I gotta
we'll see what's here. I have 2 guys that I'm gonna, I think, run to the podium for. If they're here, we'll see what Pitts Happens does. So we are at the 7-8 turn. I've started Gibbs, Neighbors, Rashee Rice, Pitts, Spears, Brown. A little too sexy for Guillotine League for my liking. Okay, Hollywood was one of my picks. I was like, Hollywood should not be here anymore. I am going to go ahead and graft Jaleel, and then I'm going to take the plunge and hate myself and take Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, I just saw that name, and that seems like a good pick.
Yeah, but man, Hollywood at the end of the 7th, like after Lockett, after Samuel, Hopkins, Thielen, Palmer, that's such a good pick.
Yeah. I mean, he's out week 1. What do we think? A few weeks only for him?
Yeah. They did say he was out week 1, but I feel like you maybe survive it at these prices.
Yeah.
I also should mention here, this is the beauty of an 18-team league. Ricky says, I hate all of these teams. Yes, no one's looks good.
No.
Let's see here. We're gonna have join us here. We got Super Shorty. What team are you, Steph?
I'm the waiver queen.
Waiver queen.
Team 13.
Oh yeah, 13. Okay, Marv, Achane, Zay, Ingram, Singletary, Love, Hopkins. What was your thought on Hopkins? He was buried in the ADP, but you dug him out there.
I was actually debating between him and Hollywood. So, it seems like he's supposed to be on track to play week 1. That was kind of my tiebreaker, even though.
Yeah.
And I think that he could maybe get more of the offense than Hollywood even.
Yeah. Is this what's your experience with guillotines? Have you done these before?
Never. This is my experience. So I'm completely winging it.
But you have a lot. You play all the different formats. You play Dynasty, you play Redraft, DFS, Best Ball. So if anyone has a brain for adapting to a new format quickly, I think it's you.
I mean, the things that pretty much jumped out to me, I think, was possibly going for some later bye weeks, floor plays, not stacking. Wanted to separate it some of the onesies. Let's see here. It's hard to find some guys. And running back is scary looking.
Everything's scary looking.
I don't want that. My goodness. Okay. Let's go. Mike Williams, who is really terrifying, and I'll probably never start him, but there's not a ton of guys. So he could this probably isn't the best pick, not being best ball, but I didn't see anything else. So
no, I think that's a solid pick. And I'd be like, Star, where do you think like a guy like Jonathan Brooks should go, right? Like gonna for sure miss the first 4. Can you survive it? What price do you need?
Oh gosh. I think maybe a few more rounds. Once we're in just straight contingent backs, I mean, I feel like someone just gotta take the shot on him. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we're there, huh?
I actually was looking at him, possibly. I was eyeballing it. I was like, can I survive with these other running backs but then I was like, no, because he'll just end up on waivers probably, and then I can grab him.
Well, there he goes.
There he goes. Just like that.
Yeah, I guess like on this team, again, we're still drafting starters, right? So this guy, you got 2 wide receivers. Brooks is your 4th running back, so that would be your flex spot. You have Burrow, Goddard. So this is still the round where even if you've drafted just for your starting lineup, these picks are still in your starting lineup. They're not even a bench play. But if you do maybe think through like, all right, I'm going to take Jonathan Brooks here, and let's say in the next round, I don't know what it would be, Antonio Gibson maybe, and you're saying I play Antonio Gibson week 1 and then see, I guess, weeks 1 through 4 and then see if Brooks can save me. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's scary for sure. I mean, and I was mad about the B-Rob pick too. Apparently we all wanted Brian Robinson right there. Because I think, and, then I went Singletary. I just wanted some guys that are boring, but I think can still consolidate some touches, even though Achane could be very scary. Hopefully. I also looked at some team totals for week 1 and tried to get some guys on some high total matchups.
Yeah, that's very sharp. Yeah, some of the other considerations we haven't discussed in ton. I know it's been briefly mentioned. Obviously, making sure you're not too loaded up on a single bye week, early bye week. Like if you had a bunch of week 14 buys in this, I'd kind of be like, if you make it to week 14, you're going to have so many cracks at the waiver wire to redo it that I'm not as concerned. But if you were low, like I have Gibbs and Spears week 5, not ideal. I probably wouldn't want to push it much past that. How is your guys' bye week situation?
Yeah, I'm a little scared. I mean, I have some earlier ones. I originally wanted to get later bye weeks as well. So that's what I grabbed Zay for. And then I was thinking of originally, and that was kind of also the tiebreaker between Dak and Love for me at quarterback. I went with the guy with the later bye week because they kind of felt pretty similar plays. In this, it's passing. I saw you get points off for interceptions. So that kind of scared me a little bit off of like A-Rich and guys like that in this format. And I was okay waiting a little bit quarterback and then, reaching. Ingram's a guy I usually don't get, but he felt like in this format with full PPR could be super safe and get just a ton of stuff. So I got some players I don't normally draft, but we'll see.
Star, you take Gabe Davis. I think that's another pick. Like, just a guy who's going to run a bunch of routes at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He's going to be on the field, so I think he's worth a shot right there.
I do think there's like a scales tipping point, right? Like in the perfect world, you have the projectable volume, the projectable targets. But at some point, you're also thinking, what if the one spike in my lineup is what keeps me from not finishing in last place? Like if you had two guys that are both spike week guys, and if it's like, if I could just get one spike from this guy, that could, buoy my week. And I think at this point in the draft, I don't want to just fully ignore boom bust guys, because I'm like, I might need that Hail Mary from my last roster spot.
Yeah, 100%.
We do see some quarterbacks come off the board here. Now, that's a really interesting decision to go QB2. I don't know if I love that, just with how much you can get behind at other spots.
Who does he have already?
Hurts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should only take probably one of the onesies, because, you're going to have waivers. So there's no reason, unless, none of the bye weeks are that early. You're going to have a few weeks. So,
yeah.
The other thing to think about, most people are only carrying one quarterback in, 18 teams, right? And then you're going to be down to 17, 16. There's 30 plus starters in the league. It's like the one thing you can kind of reliably, you're always going to be able to get like a bottom end QB2 on the waiver. Especially as like the second you are like, yeah, do I want to go bid on Devontae Adams or hold, my second quarterback? It's like you quickly part ways with that quarterback. So that's I'm pretty comfortable punting QB here.
Yeah, I think that was solid, because like you say, a lot of times quarterbacks don't separate that much. I was okay with kind of not totally punting and going with more of a mid-tier guy that I think is just going to have a lot of passing.
Yeah.
Was kind of the profile I looked at.
Yeah.
Well, and again, you, as you know, Steph, with working the waiver wires, you're going to have some position on your team that you're going to have to worry about every week. So to know you're just going to start Jordan Love every week it can be nice as well.
Yeah, especially through week 10.
Yeah. The one or the other idea kind of sounds good to me in this. If I'm going to go elite QB, I'll probably just miss out on tight end and try and fill it out.
I think you kind of have to pick one or the other. Now I'm trying to see here. Our guy, Michael, did do Stroud, Ferguson, the Mahomes, Andrews, that one, but then caught up, Brees, Mahomes, Andrews, and then you go Keenan, Johnson, Watson, Shakur, Charbonnet, Bucky. I don't hate how that shook out, but it is tough to pull off.
Stroud was a guy I really liked, since he has that week 14 bye week. I wasn't sure exactly where quarterback started going earlier than I anticipated. I wasn't sure what to expect.
Yeah.
With this not being a super flex. And I saw some of those onesies going in the second round. I was like, oh no. Because I did originally plan on getting elites, but then I was like, I'll just push it to, like I said, the mid-tier guys and try to get
Star. You did it. I was like, there's no way Polk makes it back. He was buried in the default ADP.
Yeah, when I saw him, I was hoping I could get him there. I took Gabe first, but yeah, then he comes back. I feel pretty good about that.
Guys. Who do I work for? Leg up. You think I'm going to let you have Polk? It's like my second most drafted wide receiver.
Well, you just let him.
Sorry, Steph.
Because you took Mike Williams over him, Steph. You did that.
Well, I thought he'd be there a little longer. But
Unfortunately, I'm a leg up sub, Steph, which means I've been clicking him all summer long.
We all have.
It's been so funny to see when people have been posting their exposures, and you can immediately be like, you're an ETR sub, you're a leg up sub. It just this is so obvious.
Who are the ETR sub guys?
Adam Thielen,
Palmer.
They who are a couple of the ETR hallmarks?
They like Josh Palmer. Yeah.
They're super high on the Giants. If you have like a ton of like Neighbors, Dimes, Slayton, Hyatt, Wandell.
No, I do. I am an ETR sub too, so I do have the ready. So I'm trying to think, and I have now stuck them into the sidekick that you can toggle back and forth to try to like
Yeah.
get a good mix.
Yeah.
That was fun. I was enjoying
Dontavian
that.
Wicks goes. Definitely seeing the non-best ball adjustment on his price in this format. The 30% routes, you know, you get a little spookier when your head's on the chopping block.
Yeah. I know the ETR guys in the beginning of the season were talking about Tyler Lockett a lot. How are you feeling about Lockett now with the kind of injury stuff?
Seems scary.
Yeah.
It seems like every single kind of red flag for a guy about to not be relevant anymore in fantasy. Like he just keeps checking every one of those bets. Like already very inefficient at the end of last year. What is he, like 31 age season, coming into the season with an incredible training camp for the year 2 guy. Like, I don't know. It feels pretty dicey for Lockett right now.
Yeah.
So these ranks are pretty crazy. I wasn't able to set anything, but I'm like looking for guys and I'm like, where are they? And then I'll see like other guys. I'm like, how is he still there and like buried?
Yeah. The top of the board at that, what was it? Jonathan Brooks pick with Jonathan Brooks and Jordan Mason right after him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy is hurt, but at this point, if I do make it, I feel like he's a
I like that.
Yeah.
good floor
I
play
think
for
that's
this.
solid. Steph takes Josh Downs there again, kind of just you just got to survive, right? And like you're outside your starting lineup right now. You don't have to start Josh Downs week 1.
Yeah. Thank God.
I also think we're kind of close to a tipping point where you can start to make the case some of these tight ends available are better flex plays than the wide receivers and running backs.
Oh, don't say that.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I was originally only going to go one elite, but then I'm like, man, it is very, very thin, especially at running back.
Oh, PD after we were bagging on Lockett. Look, we're all gonna have gross ass picks in this format.
I mean, yeah, it's an 18-person league. At least it's only 14 rounds. I couldn't imagine if this was a 18 or 20 round draft. It'd be like some of my dynasty stuff.
I think I am gonna pull the trigger probably on a quarterback here. We're kind of in that territory where you can still like lock in a guy who can kind of finish like a top 12 weekly option. I think I'm gonna go Geno. Like he just feels kind of safe-ish, high floor to me. Lots of weapons. I don't want it correlated. I don't have any Seattle pieces.
And I like that call.
Yeah.
I mean, Geno is one of the guys. I have a lot of Geno because I don't know. He always just feels like one of the safer later quarterbacks. And I don't know. I got really heavy on that game as well. Heavier than I planned in general. I noticed with a lot of my exposures.
Yeah.
I have a lot of Fat Keenan, a lot of Rome.
All right. So I'm definitely not doing running back. I am torn between a wide receiver or a tight end. I think, all right, let me take Geno. All right. I think I'm gonna fuck it. It's short king summer. We're drafting Wan'Dale Robinson. All right, we're doing it. I almost clicked a tight end, but I know some of you guys are maybe Star Tours is sweating a tight end selection down there.
A little bit. Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you didn't push anything this far because it's looking pretty gross all the way around.
Tight end it's not too bad, honestly. I thought it might be worse, but it's looking all right. There's some guys we're gonna play.
So we're about to enter round 10. This is 14 total rounds. Let's recap our teams here for the 3 of us on stream. So my starting lineup is Geno at quarterback, Kyle Pitts at tight end for my onesies. I will be starting 2 wide receivers, Malik Neighbors, Rashee Rice. And my week 1 starting lineup will probably have 4 running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs, Tajay Spears, Chase Brown, and McLaughlin. What is your starting lineup right now, Star Tours?
So I've got Lamar at QB, Raheem Mostert, Javonte Williams, and Gus Edwards probably starting. I'll do 3 running backs, I think. And then 3 receivers with Waddle, Chase, and Rome. And then I still do not have a tight end yet.
Your team's I think you could make the case for even benching like Rome week 1 potentially.
Yeah.
Just to see what it's like.
For Polk, maybe, or Davis?
I think is Polk going to project for more targets week 1? I don't know.
Probably. With PPR too, I mean.
It's close.
It's close.
Or is Tyquan Thornton going to be out there week 1? They're going to hold him off until they start May. No.
All of those beats talking about Tyquan Thornton nonstop for a week or so. That was something.
It's like,
all right.
Fool me once.
Star, I'm going to be bringing on our next guest here in a second, but I appreciate you hanging out, man. Like I said, it was great to put a face to the name. Thanks for hopping on tonight.
Yeah, thanks so much. Never meet your heroes, but Pete, you're a great guy. I loved all the content. I've been watching Swolecast for a while now. That's where I first found you, so it's cool to be on the stream. And you too, Steph, of course.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you.
Yeah. All right, Star.
Because we talk all the time in Discord. It's always good to put faces with names.
Yes, ma'am. I'll see you there.
All right, we'll see you, Star.
Thanks,
good luck the rest of the draft. We're bringing on Luis here. Puri8. Is that how you say your username?
Yeah, that is correct. How you doing?
Awesome, man.
Steph.
Well, yeah.
Hello.
Show us what draft slot are you?
17. Pitts happens.
Oh, you're the guy right here who sniped Calvin Ridley for me. Now I get to put a face to that name.
Well, you sniped me before on Kyle Pitts, so I think that's kind of like even now.
Yeah, we're definitely fair. How is this? Is this your first Guillotine experience?
Yeah, this is my first one actually. Never done one before, but I'm liking it.
Well, Tom's also pissed that you took his Bateman, so you're making enemies everywhere.
Wow, that's crazy. No,
He just claims all the Ravens.
Yeah, no, actually, I was trying to target Jerry Jeudy at the 8, but then you sniped me again. So I was like, okay, this is probably like a war right now.
What were you thinking? Because I was noticing Hollywood Brown too. We get the news going to be out week 1. What were you kind of weighing with that click there?
I think I've been into the Best Ball Mania too much right now. So I think all about ADP right now. So it's like, I have to go with Brown first, get the ADP value, if you will. And then hopefully Jeudy comes back to me in the turn. But that wasn't the case.
Yes. We got Jason in the chat. Are you River Rat, Jason? The ES time zone? I feel like the amount of Best Ball Breakfast, the amount of shows, the amount of times I say is Eastern time. I thought I had solidified my personal brand with Eastern time zone starts at this point, Jason. Yes. I'm glad to have you back though. Honestly, could be worse for your auto team. Not the end of the world. Puka, Ayuk, Richardson, Zamir White, Zach Moss, Bauer, Samuel. Honestly, just the Trevor Lawrence pick is like not ideal. I think you can survive everything else. All right, Steph, you took Marshawn Lloyd. Are we back in? We just took him on one of our Mastiff slow drafts. Are you back in on him?
I mean, look who went after him. I mean, Justice Hill. I'd rather bet on Lloyd, and we know that AJ Dillon's done for the year. So, it's either him or Emmanuel Wilson. So let's hope that he's the number 2 and that they're not going to give Josh Jacobs the workhorse role, and maybe he can put up some points for me.
Yeah, I like it.
That's all I can hope for, that he's not that injured. He avoided, PUP and all of that goodness. That, I don't know, it was weird, that whole mess, but
And now that we are outside the starting lineup zone, as far as what you're doing in week 1, like he's a guy you want to take a peek on, right? You're like, does he have a decent role? Is he buried? Then he's just a quick cut. And we know how
Take
much
a
we love
peek.
draft. Take a peek.
It's not FFPC yet, but that would be a peek. I've tried to get my mindset for Vegas.
I love Ricky here says, I'll admit the standard time zone for the Deposit Kingdom is EST, but Pete got to admit he gives off huge PST vibes with the burritos, margs, and Modelo's. That's my bad. That's my bad there. Look, I do deep down my true serum. I wish I was a PST boy. That's my true serum. So we do see this tight end run here. PD takes Ertz. If you want to know the differences of this format, just know that PD, a very sharp drafter, took Zach Ertz over Luke Musgrave. That's how you know this is a different format, and I don't even think it's crazy. Musgrave, Jonnu, Cole Kmet, and Likely. So Likely. So deep dish Keenan doing the handcuff basically with Andrews and Likely there.
That's true.
Mm.
And I was actually looking at Zach Ertz as a possibility too. So
yeah,
I can't even hate it.
Noah Fant at that price seems good. I mean, although again, like this is when you're punting a position, right? Like you could have a stone cold 0 from Noah Fant in a week. Like that's not out of the realm of possibility. So everything gets scary out here when you punt the onesies.
What's going on with his injury? Like I just kind of pretend I don't hear it, like him and Hunter Henry, because they're two guys I have a lot of. So
have you heard anything?
Just like
Luis,
hoping not.
I haven't heard any recent updates about it.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. I'm like, somebody tell me something.
Yeah,
I think Lockett was the one that was hurt, right? So I think probably Fant the first couple of weeks might be a good value here.
Yeah, it was just Fant was missing some practices too, but yeah, it was some of these, like you just put like for a while. I mean, Waddle had missed a ton of practices.
I don't like that.
I'm trying to see. I'm just doing a quick Twitter search if there's anything about Noah Fant injury. I don't really see anything right now. All right, Steph, I am going to bring our guy Adam up. It's great seeing you as always. I will be seeing you. We will be, I guess, a week from now, we will be watching football in Vegas, and then we'll be heading to the ship chasing party in a few hours a week from now. So I will catch you then, Steph.
Yeah, we'll get to hang out and draft and do a bunch of fun things. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, it was great seeing you, and I can't wait to draft with you next week. It's going to be a good time.
All right, bye.
All right, peace. Bye. We are bringing on Adam to the stage. Adam, how's it going, man?
What's up? What's up?
What draft slot are you here?
Number 9.
Number 9 here. Okay, you had the Wicks. You grabbed my guy Cam Akers. Is this your first experience with a Guillotine League?
Was it that obvious?
No, I like your team. The Bijan Connor is great. You got like 2 huge target share guys in Pittman and Pickens. You get some Leone plays in Palmer Cook, scoop the value on Wicks, and now you're just in flyer territory. I think you did well.
All right, cool. I got the Pete stamp of approval.
Yeah,
I like it.
Are you Cam Akers pilled with me?
I've been kind of clicking him a ton when I was finishing up BBM. I clicked him a little bit when I was in some Chow Chow slows, just because I figured not very many people had him. But no, I didn't get onto him until you were kind of touting him towards the end of the season.
It did. His ADP did kind of start to move up just a little bit here, I think, after that big preseason. But yeah, I think it's worth kind of seeing if he has a standalone role. And when you have Bijan and Connor, I mean, as long as those guys are healthy, you're going to be starting those guys every week. So might as well take some crack.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's see here. Yeah, talk us through, Adam, what you're going to do here in the middle of the 11th.
Yeah, I'm like not even looking at the draft board. I have zero fucking clue what I'm doing. So we might just take a wide receiver flyer here.
Yeah.
Maybe like Pearsall and see what happens with Ayuk. But let's see. I think I'm good at tight end. The only tight end I would think about would maybe be like Senate. I'm not sure how to say that.
Yeah. That's one, yeah, you
Let's
probably
see.
have to sit on a little bit.
Let's see.
To let people know at home how gross the running backs are, I will tell you, like, the top in the applet, you got Jamal Williams, Roshan Johnson, CH, Alexander Madison, Deontay Foreman, Damian Pierce, Kendra Miller. That's the territory we're into here at running back.
Yeah, people have like 0% of an underdog, but
let's see. Historical Anomalies has a question for Luis here. What jerseys do you have behind him? Yeah, let me get a bigger board here. What do you got over your shoulders there, man?
Oh yeah, those are Kobe's. Yeah, I'm a huge Kobe fan.
Nice.
Although
dude.
I live in Atlanta, I'm a Hawks fan. Unfortunately,
I'm in Atlanta too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm a Falcons fan as well, so that's kind of like.
There you go.
That's
See, you're another fake Pacific time zone, bro, with your Kobe jerseys over you. There's two of us out there.
Yep. I need to start watching my draft now because I'm about to pick.
Yeah, let's get your thought process on this pick, and then we'll bring on our next guest here after you get this 11th. Like I said, if you guys are just tuning in, we're doing a Guillotine League draft. This is a managed league. I know it's a sharp left turn for us best ball bros, but a very fun format where it's not having to manage it the whole season if your team's bad. You get axed from the league if you finish in last in a given week, and then we progress until week 18 is a head-to-head matchup. So very similar to the eliminator concept on Underdog. It's managed. And then the other difference is the team who's eliminated, their entire team goes into the available player pool. So every single week, the player pool is getting an influx of pretty good options. And of course, as the season progresses and teams get loaded and more loaded, the waiver wire gets better and better. So you're trying to balance survival while building a juggernaut as you go here. Jalen Naylor was in my queue. I thought maybe I could sneak him through, but Mark was not going to allow that. Yoshi Vasco's here. How are you thinking about this pick, Luis?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about Yoshi in here. So I got 4 on my queue right now that I feel comfortable in here. So at least one is going to fall. But then on the turn, that's when I'm trying to think, what should I do? I don't know how you all feel about doing 2 quarterbacks. I was thinking at first just doing 1 quarterback, but then I think right now, like running backs, wide receivers are like literally trash.
I'm kind of mad at myself for even taking Gino because there has not been a single quarterback since I took Gino, which makes me feel dumb. Rodgers is still on the board, Watson, Baker. So yeah, I don't think I'm honestly thinking about taking a second quarterback, although I have a couple names I like.
Okay, good, because I had 2 quarterbacks, so I'm gonna draft first my RB.
Oh wow, you just used that against me, that information. I think this is what I'm going to do. I am going to see. I'm not going to go quarterback. I'm going to go see what Malachi Corley's role is. Does he have a gadget floor with Aaron Rodgers? We're going to fuck around and find out. And we're going to draft Colby Parkinson too, because there are worlds in which Kyle Pitts flops and I'm starting Colby Parkinson every single week in this league.
Also, I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson right here.
No, Nick played it right as the lone QB holdout here. That's the way to do it. Yeah, Matthew's been playing the format with the Living the Stream guys for a decade. Impressive. Well, Luis, it was great getting to know you. You get your second quarterback here. Are you relatively new to the Discord? I hadn't recognized your name around the parts for too long.
This is my first year, actually. So this is my first year maxing BBM as well. So yeah, just trying to become a best ball pro as well.
There you go, man. Well, I appreciate you joining us tonight. It was great to meet you, and good luck in this league and in all of your best ball drafts.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll see you, Luis, and we'll go ahead and bring on the auto drafter extraordinaire here on River Rat. What's up, Jason?
What's up, Cole? What's up, guys? It's been a rough night to start.
No, it's all good. I'm glad you made it. You know, you're salvaging it here. Where are you at? You think you can survive week 1 after the auto?
I was looking it over. It actually doesn't look that terrible. I'm not a big fan of that second quarterback so early, but what can you do? And if Samuel comes back and he's not quite as injured as it seems, it might be okay. And if Vidal somehow sneaks into the lead role in the first few weeks, that would be awesome. So I don't think it's the worst ever. So hopefully I can make it a few weeks and then pick some people up.
And was your thought on Malik Washington just that he hadn't been drafted in 90% of the Guillotine leagues up until this point?
I'm thinking that, man, I had Waddle last year, and that dude left the field every other game for at least half a game. Like, I was so sick of Waddle last year that I'm like, I'm just going to do the opposite of Waddle this year, which would be Malik. So
That's
funny.
See what
happens.
Adam, you since we last talked, took Luke McCaffrey. I was eyeing him as well. Are you hoping maybe he can get out there and have 3 to 4 targets right out of the gate?
I'm just bag defending at this point. I was drafting so much of him in the very beginning of BBM and then kind of cooled off. But after the Jahan Dotson trade, I kind of got back into him and Sanad a little bit. But
Tucker Kraft was the other guy in my queue. If Colby had gone, I like taking a peek at that and seeing what that split's like, Jason.
Yeah, man, I just don't even know. I'm just looking over this team and thinking about what I would have done, so that's kind of frustrating. But what can you do?
Yeah. Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds is a good pick.
Sure.
That's like in the vein of the Jalen Naylor, the guy you just know is going to be playing a ton. I'm mad that I took Corley over Josh Reynolds. That's a nice pick, Steph.
Do you think Reynolds will play most of the season, or do you think he'll get switched out at some point?
You're asking the wrong guy to answer that question. I mean, I think if Sean Payton has his way, he'll play the whole season.
That's true, I guess.
Because, and the other thing is, right, like Josh Reynolds is a higher quality player than the Brandon Johnsons and who was the other guy? Little Jordan Humphreys. You know, like right. He seems to be like he has a little more staying power than just a stopgap, considering, you know, them going out and getting him in free agency. And of course, Sean Payton loves his big boys, despite drafting every little guy ever. But yeah, I think that's a good pick.
Yeah, I've been a lot of Reynolds lately too, but I just have a feeling that Mims will come in or Franklin will switch him out, which would be fine. I took so much Franklin in the early part of the season that'll work out for me. But let's see, I guess.
Yeah. PD grabs Fields as his second QB, which is a pretty kind of fun thing to stash. Like the only quarterback too I could really imagine stashing in this format is probably a Justin Fields. So that's a pretty fun pick there to wait and see if he takes over. We are in true flyer range here, Pierre Strong, and tell us about your most win. You wanted to get in on the fun, Adam, of the low-owned BBM picks here with your most recent one.
Yeah, flying by the seat of my pants over here. I'm literally just clicking buttons. I know I clicked them a lot towards the end of the year in BBM, so
that's funny. Well, Adam, it was great getting you on tonight. We're going to bring on our next guest here in a sec, but always great having you in the kingdom, and we'll catch you around, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Y'all have a good one.
Yep, peace, Adam. We got my guy Clay joining us here. Clay, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Doing good. Remind me, what's your username here? What team name are you?
I am pick 6. I'm Pearson B post route.
Okay, so we go Amon-Ra, Cup, Pacheco, Kittle, Pollard, Ladd, Tua, Mooney, 80, Komet, Sanders, Ricky Pearsall. How you feeling about your squad?
I was feeling pretty good through Kittle, and then I think the wheels came off a bit. So we'll see. This is my first time playing Guillotine. I don't mind the 2-1 off as my quarterback kind of late in the 7th, but I guess I don't know. We'll see. I live in Nashville, so maybe I'm a little Pollard pilled. Maybe take him there. So if that works out, maybe I'll be okay, but we'll see.
Well, I'm hoping we both can be right. You took Pollard, I took Spears. The team says they're going to use them interchangeably. I believe them based on what they've done so far.
Yeah, no. I mean, who knows with the new coaching staff? And it's probably some residuals of how much I liked Pollard last year that it didn't work out. That I'm just hoping that it'll work out for him this year.
Yeah. So we are about to wrap up round 12. We have 2 more rounds, so we are all wrapping up our bench here. I ended up getting 2 tight ends. I'm up to 5 wide receivers. I still just got my core 4 running backs and Geno Smith at quarterback. Aaron Rodgers did finally go off the board to Nick, who again, like that, pretty nice to wait there and get a guy who has kind of like back end QB1 upside there. That's a pretty nice value.
Absolutely.
What would you who would have been on your wish list looking at the board if you were in control of the wheel, Jason?
I would have probably gone Murray instead of Richardson, to be honest. I would have liked him as my QB. I have more trust in him this year than with how Richardson's wrapped up the end of the preseason, where he doesn't look quite the bill of goods that I was led to believe that Richardson would be this year. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah. Well, look, of all the drafts to accidentally auto, one that's a free roll is one of the better ones to do it at.
Yeah, if I missed my Sunday FFPC main, that would be a bigger problem.
Yeah, that we had it was a ship chasing main event draft. It might have been 2 years ago, and I'm blanking on his name. He's a content creator, and he autoed the entire thing. And we felt bad. We were like sending him DMs and all of this stuff, and kind of razzing him, like autoing an $1,800 team. He ended up doing better than us in the league, which was just
that one, didn't you? I feel like I remember that one.
Yes, I feel bad blanking on his name right now, but it was pretty embarrassing because there's like clips of us being like, I just took his third quarterback. And he finished.
He advances, of course. Yeah, that's how it always is.
Yeah, man. Apparently, just scooping up all the value in a room.
That's hilarious.
You go a long way. Clay, are you going to Vegas again this year?
Unfortunately, I am not. My schedule did not work out this year. Pretty bummed, honestly, because I had a really good time last year going out there for the first time with you guys. But hopefully next year. But yeah, this year just wasn't in the cards, unfortunately.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's not the easiest time of the year to pull that stuff off. But yeah, that'll be a fun time. We'll get you back in the saddle next year.
Oh yeah, for sure. It sucks to miss you guys, but I'm going out. I'm pretty sure in January, so it's not too long without going out to Vegas to see some other friends. But yeah, next September, hopefully be able to lock that in. Better plan. I need better planning on my part.
Yeah. Let's see here. You just took Rasheen Ali. Now that's a guillotine-ass pick, is it?
Oh yeah, we're just getting wild out here now.
What's the latest on Ali? I haven't heard much.
Oh, if there's news on him, that's news to me. I was just scrolling through a couple.
You didn't get cut. That's good.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest part. Yeah, but I saw some rankings and I was like, you know what? That'd be my 4th or 5th running back if I can survive the first couple weeks. We'll see.
Yeah. I should stop asking for thought process on picks if we're all just like clicking and praying.
Yeah, it's round 13 of a guillotine. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I've got a wide receiver that I would be real happy with if he falls. We'll see.
Yeah, we're at the point of the draft where we're taking Tim Patrick, who is no longer on the Broncos but on the Lions now. That Tim Patrick.
Is that a practice squad, Tim Patrick, or is he on the actual on the roster now?
I have, you know what? For some reason, my Tim Patrick Google alerts aren't working anymore.
Of all the places to land, though, Patrick landing in Detroit isn't the worst place. They do need a receiver.
It isn't. Yes, Vegas is next week. We do an annual trip out there for the high stakes weekend. I'll be out there just Thursday and Friday, kind of quick trip.
How many drafts are you ripping out there?
So we're doing 2 main events. One with Steph, one with Serum from the Ship Chasing Discord, and then we're doing a 5K. Like Leone's going to be remote, but we'll be doing that live.
Nice.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
Yeah. So I'm going to have my final 2 picks here at the turn. I do think I'm going to just grab a second quarterback at this point. It's like, do I take a guy who I know is going to be starting, like Bo Nix, or do I take Jake Bobo? You know, it's like.
Yeah, that is certainly a hard decision there.
I feel like Bo Nix is a guillotine-ass pick. Just give me that floor. Give me those checkdowns to my guy, Jaleel McLaughlin.
Yeah, just let him cook.
All right. I'm going to pretend like the Carson Steele stuff is all fake news and select Clyde Edwards-Helaire. No, I mean, wait, is P. Ryan gone? I assume so.
Yeah, he's
P. Ryan, right?
Yeah, he went 11th.
Do I really want to take – can we find what's the grossest?
Man, there's a lot of gross picks in there.
This is bad. You know what? Screw it. If we're doing like the rookie thing and just hoping and praying, I'll take Brendan Rice.
Okay, there we go.
Never know.
You never know.
Harbaugh's a loose cannon. You don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah. Round 4. Yeah. Appreciate it. CLN. Yeah. Glad to have you guys. Like I said, Fantasy Life now is running these guillotine leagues. You guys can spin up a free one. I got a link in the chat. If you guys want to sign up, you got these private leagues. You can kind of customize your settings. There are slow drafts right now. And the other thing about these is it's kind of rolling. So if you are like slow to get it going, you can do one after week 1, like even a draft. They'll allow you to just kind of start these. So yeah, even if you feel like you're crunched for time, feel free to spin up a free one with your buddies or whatever. And then I know I don't know when they're going to roll out, but they are going to have like paid competitive guillotine leagues. So that'll be a fun thing in the future. Maybe we get some high stakes guillotine action and all that good stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely glad I'm getting my first taste in a free roll. But yeah, it seems like it's a lot of fun and a different kind of strategy going into it. That I should probably put more than like 45 minutes in today, but it is what it is.
Yeah. All right, Jason, I'm going to let you talk us through your final pick here, and then I'm going to bring our guy Dan up on the stage for as we enter the home stretch of this draft.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I just went Kendra Miller, hoping that he comes off the IR and he's everything that we were told he was going to be, and that he looks like he is.
I'm imagining like the Kendra Miller. I don't know. It's like an old school game shoe where he comes off IR and then he like crawls out of the Kendra or the Sean Payton doghouse, and then he like pushes aside Jamal Williams, and he pushes aside Alvin Kamara. It's just like the amount of hurdles.
It's like this marathon journey he's going to have to go to productive.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Well, Jason, I'm glad you were able to make it eventually. Yes. Thank you. Always great seeing you in the Discord and the YouTube chat. So appreciate you, man.
See you in the streets, and thanks for having me late.
All right. Peace. All right. We got Dan. Are you outside a gas station?
I'm outside of Love's in rural Illinois right now. What's up? I was drafting. I was drafting and driving. I needed a piss break, so I stopped.
Unbelievable.
Here. And so I'm gonna get back in the car once the draft's over and keep driving. But you got me for like 5 or 10 minutes.
What I'm hearing is that you are a Guillotine sponsored pro for David Kitchen, is what I'm hearing. The only drafted Guillotine player.
Actually, it's the whole Swole cast. I'm using Davis's rankings right now. If you read the chat in there, I took Justin Jefferson at the start of the draft. I believe you see Sion Vaki there, I don't know what that is, the 12th round. So Davis has some guillotine rankings. They're the same as his BBM rankings. It's just the short players all got ranked up a few rounds because they're too short for the guillotine.
I do really want to believe that Davis has guillotine specific rankings. Does he, Dan? I haven't seen his full offerings.
I don't know. I live 5 miles from him and he won't text me back, so I actually don't know if he actually has them.
That's just after kind of seeing your behavior in the Discord. I think that's a very smart decision by Davis.
I don't know about that one. I mean, Davis is pretty wild.
No, this is what needs to happen. You said you're 5 minutes from Davis. We got our guy Frankie, who has his Divine Possibilities restaurant. How do you guys got to host a meetup at Frankie's Italian restaurant? Take some photos.
Where's Frankie's? Hold on, I gotta find this place. Where's Frankie's at? Is it called Frankie's?
I mean, what did you say?
Is it called Frankie's?
No, that's Frankie from the Discord.
I found Frankie's Deli.
I thought it was called Divine Possibilities.
Divine Possibilities? That does not sound like a place I would like.
What an unbelievable name.
I think so.
Is that a yoga studio?
He's going to be so mad at me if I plugged his restaurant and I messed it up. Imagine the Possibilities. Thank you.
Okay. I found Endless Possibilities Auto Shop. That's not it.
There you go. All right. Yeah. So I'm still waiting. Yeah, you guys will have to meet up here.
Imagine the Possibilities.
I love that your phone keeps cutting out because you have to make a pick.
All right. So my last pick, I drove home to Knoxville to hang out with my parents this weekend. I'm a UT grad, so we are going to take Mr. Cedric Tillman with our last pick.
Okay. There you go.
A little hometown flavor there.
Dan, who does Davis take in the last round here? Who's worthy?
It's Sion Vaki, but I took him in the 12th.
I'm trying to find the most Davis Maddock ass pick on the board for you. It's probably taking Rondell Moore just like in solidarity. Tutu Atwell is available.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling. Don't worry. I'm scrolling. I'm trying to find somebody.
Guy Moore is there.
Oh, hold on. I think I got one. Oh, yeah, we got it. We got the premier short king here.
Let's see this. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, let's see.
The shortest of kings.
All right, recap your team, Dan. The Davis Maddock homage here.
Okay, oh God, I'm opening up Underdog. That's not. Hold on.
Stay focused. You really are pulling a Davis, trying to multitask an Underdog draft while on stream with me. It's very in character.
Can you hear me still?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. My camera goes out whenever I go on video. Let's see. First round, I have Justin Jefferson and then Derrick Henry. I've got Stephon Diggs. Sorry, my fiance is walking back out here right now. My thing won't even scroll. Pete,
you want me to read off the team for you?
Yeah, Pete, didn't you build this app? Why won't it scroll on mobile?
Yeah. I'm going to get into some of the code after here and fix that.
Yeah, if you can dig in, that'd be great.
Yeah, you took we'll go back to front. Deuce Vaughn, Dameon Pierce, Sion Vaki, Chark, Mims, Jalen Wright, Justin Herbert, Chuba Hubbard, Taysom Hill. You got to get that. You do get the tight end value here. I completely missed that. Xavier Worthy, Jade Reed, Stephon Diggs, Derrick Henry, and Justin Jefferson. Man, the bit of being the only Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry combo in this league is not lost on me, Dan.
Absolutely. I had to get the big dog for the little dog.
Did you say you're making your wife wait in the car right now while you do this?
No, she was just inside. She just came out. So we're I told you I had like 5 or 10 minutes that I had to go. So I was right on time.
Yeah. I don't know if your marriage is going to be able to survive this.
We're not married yet. This November. But yeah. I told Davis I'd invite him. I told Davis I'd invite him to the wedding, but he won't text me back.
You get a short king in your groomsmen party. You might be able to save a little money on tailoring. It could be nice there for you.
I know. They said that the kid sizes are half price, so it should be good.
You actually, Davis as your ring bearer could be the ultimate bit.
Oh, that would actually be fantastic. I gotta see if we can do that. We just bought these like little like ring bearer like hats and like bibs and stuff or whatever, because we've got my two little cousins that are gonna do it. But fitting Davis in there would actually be pretty perfect. We could have him go down and then circle back with the flower girls and walk down with them too.
Oh my goodness! Oh,
Right,
so you're getting married in November? Yeah, I think you got to give the invite to Davis.
Okay, well, tell him to text me back.
Are you gonna come to Vegas?
No, not. It's just with like the wedding this year and everything. We've been traveling. I've had 5 weddings or 4 weddings we've been to this year, so we've been so busy traveling. Next year, and I didn't even know about it till like late, kind of. So next year, though, I'll try to make it down. My dad's gonna kill me if I don't get in the call.
He just dropped off.
Perfect ending to that.
I would say to have oh no, he's back. You know Dan was coming back. His wife's like, get in the car. He's like, no, I gotta land the plane here on this bit.
My phone is probably gonna suck too.
Yeah, no, you're already clipping here. Do you have any final words, Dan? Any people from the Deposit Kingdom you'd like to shout out tonight?
No.
That's fair. That's very fair. Clay, do you have any final words here? I threatened to boot Dan from this stream if he burned all the clock and made me go to bed late. So I am going to land this plane here shortly.
You do. So yeah, I won't keep you up. Just say, yeah, thanks for doing it. Enjoy having a free roll on Guillotine for the first time. And I'll just give a shout out to old emo cowboy, our boy Tyler.
Awesome. Yes, Emo in the chat earlier tonight. I think at one point he threatened, he got mad that we called him out for drafting Rashad Bateman and stomped off and said, I'm going to go have sex right now. He said it in a very angry tone.
I doubt that. I doubt that.
Yeah, the lady doth protest too much, I think. All right, guys, this was fun. Next weekend, I don't know if I'm going to have an after dark because I'm going to be coming back from Vegas. But we will have the Sunday morning cram for YouTube members before week 1. And then after that, this weekly show will just be Saturday nights and it'll be DFS After Dark. So I will continue to keep the guests rolling. I made this one public for everyone tonight. Wanted you guys to be able to check out the Guillotine Leagues. I got the link in the chat. You guys can go spin up your own free private leagues. And then the other thing about this league that I didn't mention, throughout the season, I'm going to, on the portfolio review on Monday mornings, we'll have a segment and we will look at who got beheaded in this league and see how the teams are shaping up. So if you guys want updates on how this turns out, that'll be Monday mornings on the portfolio review. I'm exhausted from a long week of content. Hope you guys enjoy your Labor Day weekend. I'm going to be back on Tuesday a.m. We are going to have a best ball breakfast. I don't know what we're drafting. Bill Barnwell from ESPN is going to join me. Always like connecting with him for a show or 2 each year. So that will be a fun time. But yeah, enjoy your Labor Days. For Dan, for Clay, for everyone who drafted tonight. Check out the Guillotine Leagues. We'll see you guys next time